Hello everybody, it's Cindy the Scrapologist. Welcome to another paper crafting bookbinding tutorial, junk journal tutorial, whatever you want to call it. Just have to say all that stuff for YouTube. I wanted to thank you for watching my other video. I have the link below, and it was on this 2-section 3-hole pamphlet stitch little booklet that I'm in love with, and I'm making a bunch of these for the craft show. I made the video a week or so ago with wallpaper borders, and then I made another one with scrapbook paper. And a lot of you have had questions wondering how you can make this into a junk journal. So that's what I'm going to show you today, how to do this with a couple of book covers. Let's get started. So I want to make this video kind of short, so I'm not going to show every single step in terms of getting your book spine off and things like that. There are so many videos out there on that, and I have some myself. So I just took a book and I removed the spine, and where'd my X-Acto or my knife go? And I'm just gonna clean it up a little bit to make it nice and even. Okay, so now I have my two book covers, the front and the back. This particular one is bowed. I don't know if you can see it. So after I do this, I'm going to have to put it in my book press and flatten it out a little bit. Then you want to make your signatures. Now I don't have any signatures made except for this one right now, but this is going into another project that I'm working on. So I'm not going to put this one in there, but this just gives you an idea. If you're new to junk journaling, just take a whole bunch of papers of different sizes and shapes and envelopes and anything you want, and you nest them together. I have some scraps because I've been making all of the journals for the craft fair, and so for this particular one, I want, just like I made with, now where did it go? I lost the other journal I just made. Oh, here it is. Just like I made with this one, I had two signatures. Here's one, and here's the other. And there were 15. Did I end up with 15? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, I did 10. Okay, I did 10 sheets of paper folded in half, and 10 sheets of paper folded in half, and then I nested them together. I'll show you, because I am going to use, I think for this book, I'm kind of sticking to writing journals for this particular craft show, because it's not a craft show, it's an art show. And sad to say, they really don't want junk journals. They just want handmade books from me. So I'm kind of sticking to that for right now. And I have some paper left over that's already just about the right size. So I am going to take, take whatever paper you want. Scrapbook paper, ledger paper, like I said, old envelopes, anything you have lying around, because that's what a junk journal is. I'm going to take 10 sheets. 1, 2, 3. I think these are the same size. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's kind of hard, just these are already folded. 8, 9, 10. Okay. So I have 10 sheets of paper folded in half. There's my first signature for my first section. Let's see if I have 10 sheets here that are big enough. I'm going to cut these down to the size of my cover. 1, 2. These are too short. 3. Let's see. Yep. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. These are a different size, but that's okay because I am going to, like I said, cut them in half. So what you're going to do is you're going to take 10 sheets of paper, 8.5 by 11, or if you want to cut them down in advance to the size of your cover, you can. Fold them all in half and nest them all together just like you would if you were making a regular junk journal or a regular book. It's a little gloomy. So I just brightened that. I hope that looks okay. It's April 5th and we're getting more snow tonight. Not even going to say anything about it. What can I say? Okay, so once you have your 2 sections, we'll just call them sections because this is a 2-section, 3-hole pamphlet stitch. We need 2 sections or 2 signatures, and they need to be the height and width of our cover. My cover is 4 3/4 by 7.5. I'd like to leave about 1/8 of an inch on the sides and the bottom. So I'm going to cut these so that they fit my cover. Okay, my papers are cut down, and I'm getting a lot of questions about what I use to cut my papers. I do have a bookbinder's guillotine trimmer, and all of my favorite items are either linked below or over on my Bendable account where you can see all of the tools that I use. But also, I'm trying to answer everybody's questions, but the best thing to do is go over to my Patreon and become a member. You can join for free, and I will be guaranteed to answer your questions over there. It's hard for me to answer every single one on YouTube because I'm a one-woman show. So, so let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I have 10 sheets cut down. I might need to cut them down a little bit. They're just too close to the edge for me, so I'll probably trim them down a little more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. When I'm done with the craft shows, I will get back to junk journals again. Okay. Just going to cut these down one more time. Okie dokie. I think that looks nice. So just kind of put it on your cover. Put it all the way to the edge on this side where your spine's going to be, and make sure that you have at least a little bit of room here because it usually doesn't end up being all the way flush. You usually have a little bit of give when you're creating the spine. So I've got 2 signatures with 10 sheets each, and like I said, yours might look like this. That's okay. You might have 10 sheets of all different sizes and different themes, whatever, but have 10 pieces, if that makes sense, 10 pieces of something in your signature. So next we are going to create the spine. This is the fun part. Make sure, let's see, so this is the front cover, this is the back cover. There we go. The spine itself is going to be 1.5 inches, but it's going to be accordion folded, sort of. I guess that's what you'd call it. So what you want is you want the width. Here, it'll be easier to do it like this. You want the width of both of your spines. So mine is 9.5, and then you want to add 1.5 inches to the width of both of your spines. So mine is going to be 9.5, 10.5, 11 inches. See how bad I am at math? I almost had to count on my fingers. Mine's going to be 11 inches by the height of this paper here because I like this blue edge. I want to keep that. So 11 inches by 7.25. Now, you know me, I'm going to use wallpaper because that's what I love, but you can use scrapbook paper if you want. However, if you use the scrapbook paper, again, I have lost that little booklet. If you use scrapbook paper, it's not going to be as durable in the spine area. This could likely rip over time. So I'm going to show you a technique to reinforce this if you decide to use scrapbook paper here. And you know what I just decided? I measured from end to end, but I actually want to keep this blue border on the sides too. So I'm just going to measure from the paper here to the paper here instead. And that's 9¼ inches. So 9¼ plus 1½ inches. I'm going to cut a piece of wallpaper. Okay, so just to reiterate, what I did was I cut a piece of wallpaper or scrapbook paper, whatever you want, and see how nicely that fits. I still have the nice blue border here. I have the nice blue border here. However, I have a 1½ inch space here. So what we're going to do next is we are going to just fold this in half to find the center. Trying to line it up to make it really nice and even. I like to just put a little crease there, and then I'm going to score that better with my scoreboard. But if you don't have a scoreboard, you certainly can, here it is, you certainly can just use a ruler and a pencil and fold it. So what you do is score in the center of the two halves. Then, and if my other video explains this a lot better, then go over 3/4 inch. So here's 5, here's 5 3/4. It's wallpaper, so I'm going to go through it a couple of times. Then I'm going back to the 5, and I'm going to the left 3/4 inch. So that's 4¼ So the center, go over 3/4 inch. The center, go over to the left 3/4 inch. And that's your spine. So now you're just going to fold. Let's crease these folds. We have our two end ones. And then we have our middle one, which goes this way. And I'll open it up and show it to you in a minute. So it ends up looking like this. So let's see if you can see it better here. See the three scores? This is our center one, and these are the ones that were on either side. So the spine goes in so that you create a valley here. And this is going to be our cover. So let's just double check this to make sure that it looks good. It's going to go here. It's going to go here. That's going to look great. It's going to go like that. I hope you can see. Now, I am thinking, I'm just kind of inventing this right now, so I am thinking that the easier thing to do, oh, I have this upside down. It goes this way. Oh. Yes, sorry. It goes this way. I was thinking this was the cover. If this was the cover, it would go this way, but it's not. It's going to go in here. So this spine needs to come up like this. I apologize. Like I said, I'm just inventing this in my brain as I film. So it's going to go like this. I apologize. Okay, there we go. But anyway, what I started to say is, you can see that, is that I think that it's going to be easier to sew our signatures on before we glue this to our covers, because that will kind of affix this spine in place and everything will be held together really nicely. So let's get to the sewing part. We have our two signatures. And a signature is going to go in each valley. So one's going to go here. See, here's our flap. And one's going to go here. Here's our flap. And of course, if you're doing a junk journal, you're doing junk journal pages, you just put them in on either side of your flap. You would put one here and you would put one there. It's going to look, I wish I had time to make some signatures to do this because it would look beautiful. And I am going to get my thread and my awl ready. And it's best to get this stuff ready. Get your needle threaded in advance. And again, if you watched my other video, you want, I can't find the end of this anymore. Here it is. Okay, you always want at least 2.5 times the height of your book. I always do 3 just because my hands are bad. Sometimes I have a hard time sewing knots. So it just gives me, I don't have to grip as much. It gives you a little bit more wiggle room and a little more thread to play with. Okay, threaded my needle off camera, and watch my other video. I show you the little bookbinders trick on how to get this so that the thread doesn't come off when you're sewing your signatures. Okay, so now you want to line all of this up, top to bottom, side to side. Squeeze these together so that your little spine thingy here is, your little flap is nice and closed. Then find the center of both of your signatures. Squeeze them really tightly. And then you are going to open. So here's the book. I'm squeezing and I'm setting it down and then opening the book like this. Again, making sure that nothing moved. And this is where you're going to punch your signatures. You really don't need to measure. If you're doing a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, just do the center. Do about a 1/2 inch from the head and a 1/2 inch from the tail. That's really all you need to do. My papers did shift there. And take an extra needle. I showed this little trick in the other video too. Pop it through. And I'm rushing a bit so my papers are shifting, but pop it through your hole so it helps to keep your signatures in place. And then we're just going to do the easiest stitch of all, a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. Go in through the center. Don't poke yourself on the other needle. So you go in through the center, or sewing station 2. So again, I explained in the other video, this is station 1, station 2, and station 3. So go in through station 2, come up through station 3, and sometimes you have to, I didn't go through really well with that awl. Sometimes you have to look and find where your holes are. That's okay. I should have punctured better, but I forgot to get a book, and I didn't want to dig into my map. Okay, so we're in through station 3. I'm going to pull it taut. There we go. Now we're going to go out through station 1. It's really hard to do this and not get my head in the way. Okay. All right, and then we're going to go back in. You see how you have a string here, but you don't have anything here, so you need a string there, right? That's how you can tell if you start getting confused as to which hole you're supposed to be going in. And we go back in to station 2. Which, wow, I really did not poke these holes. I really did not go through them very well. Sorry, I need to do this off camera. I'll show you in a second. Sorry. There we go. Okay. So I went back in through here, through the second signature. Pull it taut. And another little trick that I taught you in the other video, if you recall, is that you want to make sure that you have, sorry, it's white on white. I know that's hard, but you want to make sure. Oh no! I pulled too tight. Let me resew this and I'll come right back. But that's good that you see that happens. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I resewed this puppy. Not going to pull so hard this time. And what I was saying is that you always want to make sure that you have a piece of the thread on either side of your thread that's going up the middle of the book, because when you tie your knot, that means it's going, sorry, white on white, it's going over the thread and your knot won't pull through. Very, very important. So just tie a regular square knot, pull up and out at the same time. People always ask me, how do you get your signatures? How do you get your threads tight? And that is the trick. If you pull in one direction or another, no, it's not going to be as taut. So up and out at the same time. Cut your thread. Okay, so this is what we have now. And now find your center and find your two decorated pieces. And just let's crease everything. So now if you have it folded correctly, you see how it's all in there now, and this flap is in the middle. So this is going here. I'm loving this. This is working. This is working. I was totally experimenting with you guys. Oh, that's going to be beautiful. Crease it. Okay, I'm excited to glue it down. So you can use glue if you want. I don't like glue, as you know if you watch me. It curls your paper, it curls your chipboard, and I get it all over the place. I'm extremely messy. I have this double-sided tape. This is 1.5 inches, I think. You can get it in up to 3 inches. This is 2.5 inches. And I am going to, do I want to tape these down one at a time? I think the best thing to get the best coverage is I'm going to tape the book. That way, yeah, I think that that's a good idea, rather than taping on the paper itself. And trim that nice and good. Get it down there. And that's a little too wide, so I'm going to move to my 3/8 inch. And I want to make sure I get really good coverage. If you don't, you end up getting, your paper can bubble. So you just want to cover the whole thing. If you're using tape or you're using glue, make sure you have full coverage. Oh, I was going to show you too, if you're doing this with scrapbook paper. Here's a little. If you make mini albums, you already know this trick, how to support your spine with a piece of Tyvek. I recycle all of my shipping envelopes when I get an envelope in. So what you would want to do, or what I would do if I were you, is I would put this, I should have showed this to you before I folded, but let's say, okay, let me just mock up a little Okay, so let's say this is your spine that you're making. What I would do before I sew anything in is I would glue or tape a piece of Tyvek to the reverse side that's not going to be seen, and then score it. And that way when you sew your signatures in, you're also sewing through the Tyvek, so the paper is a little more supported. I hope that makes sense. Again, another reason to love wallpaper. You guys are going to be so sick of hearing me talk about wallpaper, but I can't help it. I love it. Okay. There we go. Let me just tape up the other side off camera, and I will be right back because you don't need to sit and watch. Okay, so now make sure that your front cover is to the left and your back cover is to the right. Let's peel off the tape on the left side. The only good thing about glue is that you can kind of reposition your pages on your cover, your end sheet on your cover before you have to commit to it. With the tape, you kind of have to put it down right the first time. So, but I think I've measured properly and I checked everything. And so I am going to start, make sure I have this right. I am going to start, get a good grip on it, in the bottom left-hand corner and tack that down. And then just slowly position it and look at it on the top and the bottom and the side, and to me it looks like perfection. I'm getting married to it right here. I did it. All right. And if I can find my burnishing tool, burnish that down really good. Doesn't that look beautiful? Really dresses up an old book. Let's do the same with the back cover. For the back cover, we have to be a little more careful because we want to make sure that it's not higher or lower than the front cover. So let's butt it up. Gently put it down. It worked. Whew. Yay! I love when a plan comes together, especially something I've never done before. Okay, let's close it up. All right, let's just burnish everything. All right, now if you're using scrapbook paper, then this is going to look really pretty. You're going to be able to see the different colors there. Now, because I used wallpaper, let me burnish this. Because I used wallpaper, that's kind of ugly. You can see the back side of the wallpaper there. So I am going to cover that up with a piece of fabric. Actually, what am I saying? Why not a piece of wallpaper? Yes, it's going to cover this over a little bit, but that's okay. I'll do better next time, and remember that I can't have words way over to the left edge, and I can always decorate this cover. Okay, so this is 1.5 inches wide times the height of my book. I'm going to tape this up off camera. Be right back. Actually, no, I'm going to tape it on camera because something just occurred to me. You don't want to put tape in the center here. Ooh. Or it might stick to your pages and you might not be able to turn them as well. So we just want a piece of tape here and a piece of tape here. So that's what I'm going to do. Just put a piece of tape on either end. I have so many old book covers with no spine that this is a really cool. I'm going to really make a bunch of these. This only took me, what, a half hour? You can also decorate the original spine, kind of fix it up if you have it, and put it on here. I'm going to, let me get my clamp. Just clamp it. Put that on here. Fold it over. There we go. That looks fabulous, so I'm really happy with that. I'm going to crease this here so I get a nice so I get a crease. Opens perfectly well. Opens flat for writing. And I love it. So there you go. That's the 2-section pamphlet stitch. A 2-section 3-hole pamphlet stitch using an old book cover. And you can just imagine if this was a junk journal, just how cool that would look. I think that's going to be my next one. And when I make one, I'll come on and show you guys. Let me know if you make one of these. And have fun. See ya.